All right, the best trader in the world is back to react to some videos, but this time I am a prop firm owner. I own one of the largest prop firms in the world, so I know all the ins and outs of the industry. So let's see, the video is how to pass top 5 prop firm traders, and let's see if it makes any sense being the owner of one of the top 5 prop firms in the world.
Have you ever wondered what the top prop firm traders do to get to where they're at? Worry not, because today we are not only going to talk with 1, 2, we are actually going to talk with 5 of the top prop firm traders out there. These traders together have made over $4 million in payouts with prop firms, so they know what they are talking about. And today I'm going to get them all to join me, and I'm going to ask what
Right, fantastic hype up. I'm sure they made $4 million. That's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that.
is your biggest tip to pass a prop firm challenge is, because that is
I know what mine would be.
step 1 of getting funded. And if this video gets to 4,000,
The biggest tip on how to pass a prop firm, being a prop firm owner itself, is you need to have a very high win rate, and you basically just need to go basically all in on really high win rate trades. It's the fastest way to pass, and you want to churn accounts. You're going to fail some accounts, but you're going to pass accounts much faster. That's the best way to do it. But if you want to never fail, you need to do a little bit of a DCA sort of strategy.
likes, then I'll make sure to make a part 2 where I'm going to ask these traders with over $4 million in payouts what their biggest tip to reach a payout is. So let's get this directly started, and let's start with Kyle. JCap. He has profited over $1.2 million with prop firms. He's currently starting a YouTube channel again, so make sure to subscribe. There's going to be a link in the description. And he made a whole Twitter thread on how he profited.
By the way, guys, I want you to comment in the comment section below. What do you guys think about all these traders? Are they real, or is this all bullshit? Like, are these guys paid by the prop firms? Because I know prop firms do that. They pay the influencers in payouts so that they can market the payouts. Personally, we would never do that, but I know people have been approaching us to do that.
With prop firms. And so Kyle is one of the top traders. The number 1 with more payouts is actually here in this video too. So let's jump on a call and ask him what his biggest tip is. Okay, so we're here with Kyle, and I just want to ask straight up, what is your biggest tip for passing a prop firm challenge?
Yeah, so in my opinion, when you're trying to pass a prop firm challenge, let's say without failing one, is when you are at your initial balance, depending on if you get a win or a loss, that next trade is going to determine what your next risk is. So the deeper you go in a drawdown, the easier it is to smooth out your equity curve by reducing your risk. So let's say on phase 1, if you want to start out at 1 or 2% risk, if you lose, you cut the risk in half. If you win.
Right, so this is a strategy that will be good for if you want to never fail one challenge. I personally think that the better way to make money is to churn the prop firm and trade a lot.
You can possibly keep the risk the same or double the risk. So approach the challenge as, where am I in relation to my starting balance? And, based on those next series of trades or next trade, you're going to adjust your risk accordingly. And that's going to help you stay alive in the challenge long enough for you to be able to find those A+ setups and then pass the challenge eventually.
Right, so this is an okay tip. I don't think it's very good. I've actually passed Top Step for the past 3 months. I've been trading on Top Step without blowing the account at all. There's been 3 months of data. I did not do this strategy. What I do is I only wait for the best setups. I only go in when I know for sure I'm going to be right. And then you may be saying, how do you do that? Well, you have to recognize your emotions. And if you ever go into the day saying, I don't know what direction it's going to go, you don't trade that day at all. That's a better way to go, rather than saying, I'm going to lower my risk, because now you're applying less care to each trade.
Okay, thank you. And just for people to know, what was your total payout amount?
Yeah, so after I get paid from SFT, it's going to be a little over 1.2 million.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Next up, we have Paladin.
SFT, wasn't that the firm that he owned or something? I'm a bit confused on that. He owned that firm and then went under. Anyways, not sure if we can trust that advice.
And one of the co-founders of SFT, Skilled Funded Trader.
I thought it was JCap, Paladin, and what's the other guy? Riz.
But before founding SFT, he actually made over $400,000 in payouts. And so let's jump on a call and ask Paladin what his biggest tip is. Directly, straight to the point, Paladin, what is your number one tip for traders that want to pass a prop firm challenge?
My number one tip would actually be the people who you look up to in this industry, right? Do not copy how they approach their challenges. How you approach a challenge, it all depends on your circumstances. These people you look up to, they probably have so many funded accounts where they'll do a challenge, risk 2-3%. Whereas you're using your entire paycheck to do a challenge, right? So for that reason, you have to go very conservative. You have to go a little, maybe 1% or 0.5% risk, something that doesn't make you emotional, right? So my number one tip when approaching these challenges is do not look at the people above you, but look at where.
Okay, so this is an interesting tip because he's applying the logic that if you only have enough money for one account, then you should be very careful and you should be taking your time and only entering when your strategy works for sure, which is perfectly good. But the better way to make money is obviously to churn accounts, and you're going to need more capital for that, of course. But if you are so unfortunate to only be able to afford one account, then definitely really take your time, and that's going to take you a couple months.
You are, your circumstances, and then determine how you want to approach this challenge.
Yeah, that's sick. So money management inside of the prop firms and outside. That's actually a really good tip. Paladin, how many payouts have you done thus far in total?
The last I saw was last month, which was a little over 400K. But this year in 2024, I've already withdrawn about $15,000, and we're only 4 weeks in.
That's great. That's with EU ranging. Fucking. Next up, we have Andrew NFX. Andrew has currently $6 million of assets under management, and he has been banned basically from all of the firms out there. And now you ask yourselves, why? Because he uses a similar strategy to me of risking 4% and trying to pass in one, maximum 2 trades or blow.
This is what I've said. It's the easiest, fastest way to make a lot of money in the prop firm industry is to go full margin basically and only bet on a trade that you're sure of, and you can pass pretty much immediately. But a lot of prop firms don't really like this style, so you have to do it across a couple days so that it's not all in one betting. You have to do it like 3 times.
The account, but he does it on a way bigger scale. That's why he has $6 million of assets under management, and that's why he's profited almost or already, let's ask him on the call, if he has already close to $1 million in prop firm payouts. So that's going to be interesting to hear. So let's get into it. Andrew, what is your biggest takeaway for people that want to pass a challenge?
What helped me become a $6 million funded trader was just going very aggressive with challenges.
I love how many times they have to flex that he's got $6 million.
A lot of people call it gambling, but if you play it very smart, so let's say you have $1,000 to buy an account, most people just buy one challenge and then they blow it, right? Just buy 4 accounts and go risk daily drawdown basically on a high probability.
This is exactly what I've been saying is if you have 4 accounts, you're risking the whole thing. You're going to be able to get at least 1 passed, and then you're going to get 1 payout. It's going to be much faster, and you're going to be very carefree for each one. You're going to be risking the entire account payment as your drawdown. So you're going to be playing the game as if you are risking the account as a whole of how much you paid on your credit card, and your payouts are your profits rather than the actual account profits and losses.
Setup. So don't just gamble away. Risk 4% on a setup that maybe it's your A+ setup, and you go for a 1 to 2 if that's your usual risk reward. You pass it, and then you need 1 more win, basically 1 to 1. On phase 2, you can lower the risk. So usually what I did was 4.5% risk phase 1, and then phase 2 I would go like 2% risk or 2.5%, just so it gives me more trades. But that's why I managed to reach $6 million funding, also because I have a very high win rate. And, I went for multiple accounts, not just one account.
Okay, that's fair. And have you reached $1 million in payouts yet?
Not yet, but I will calculate everything. I will do a post about it, but I think I'm very, very close. I'll probably hit it within a few months for sure.
Next up, we have Dan Chung. Not only a great mentor of mine, but also a great friend of mine. This man, I don't understand, but he constantly is posting on Twitter like 10K day, like fucking 5K loss. And I'm like, bro, well, how do you get so many setups? He got funded with over $1 million just in 1 month. And he's constantly getting payouts from prop firms, which you can check in his YouTube channel or his Twitter, which both are going to be linked in the description. So let's jump on a call with Dan and ask him what his number 1 tip is. Being straight to the point, Dan, what is your number 1 tip to pass a prop firm challenge?
Number 1 tip is 2 things. Number 1 is proof of concept and confidence. Proof of concept is ultimately understanding that the strategy that you have, the edge that you have actually works, right? Like that's so important. You can't go in.
This is a really obvious one. If you don't have a profitable strategy, you're not going to make money no matter what you do. And prop firms are not going to help you make money. It's just a gamble either way, prop firm or broker. You have to figure out how to trade. Okay, let me break this down so it's overarching and you guys get some takeaway here that's actually advice. One, they said have patience and confidence, right? What you can do with that is take a singular challenge and make sure you pass that challenge over the course of 3 months, 2-3 months, something like that. Do a very long-term trading style to ensure that you're profitable. Use the minimum betting sizes so that you can slowly see that account grow over time. What I like to do is I did a DCA. I only added to it once or twice though, so it's not martingale, so that I can average into my entries so I can always get the trades that I want to take when it is an A+ setup. Only take the A+ setups. Walk away when you don't know for sure where it's going to go. And then after you have 3-6 months of trading on that one account without blowing it, that's when you start churning accounts. That's when you go and you start just buying tons of accounts and betting the whole account each time. If you're betting the whole account each time and you don't have a consistent 6-month log of profit, you're just going to be gambling. It's a lot easier to gamble on that churning style. But the churning style will make the most money, and you're going to be betting the whole account every single time, and you're going to get payouts very quickly that way. That way you can get the best of both worlds, guys. Some of this advice was good, some of it was crap. What do you guys think? Do they make money actually? A lot of influencers that have payouts actually just break even and they randomly bet, and then they show you all the payouts, but they've also spent equal amount of money of what they've gotten payout with, and then they sell you some sort of course. What do you guys think?